Shalom, shalom, remnant, Yasharal. I'm more than happy that you are here. If you noticed, I changed the channel name to De facto and the remnant. If you're here, you went through the test and you passed the test. You probably realize, like I do, that everything has changed. When I was taken to John chapter 6, everything changed. In that video, what happened there was nothing I could have done. I could have never planned that. I could have done nothing to do what has happened, to do what has changed everything. I could have had no hand in that other than showing up and to just go. So from now on, we are only about moving forward. Nothing behind this moment is of any concern to us. Because remember, concern is non-existent here. We are now going to put our faith into action. And we are going to go, believing who brought us here and where we are going. We are believing in the same manner we did when we were on our way here, but everything has changed. If you're a subscriber and you have an issue, you know where the exit is. If you are not lined up in the same position I am, going forward, believing with a childlike faith, you're not childish, but everything has changed for you and you are here now. If you're not lined up with me and you do not understand what's going on, you know where the exit is. I'm not saying that to be rude. I love you just as much as I did 10 days ago. But if you don't understand, you will not. Not saying that you won't ever, but at this point, You do not. If you went to my Facebook and you went through the test, and that means you read what I wrote regarding cleaning my doorstep, that was to filter any poser, any shill bot out. Now, that doesn't go to say that they're going to be all gone immediately. I'm sure we're going to have to be diligent, especially always diligent, but mindful more in the beginning of who is at our doorstep, and understanding that the remnant has never been about numbers. When I started this channel, I never did have any intentions or any fantasy that my channel would be a success as far as the world goes, with subs and views and money. And this moment we're in right now, moving forward, the amount of subs on this channel is of no importance to you or me. The quality is all that matters. And that's all that matters to the Most High. I told you in the last video, this is the road, chapter 68. You know the food. I'm going to word this in a way with the same intent Messiah worded the majority of what he spoke. Will have the same intent. So if you're not understanding, it's okay. You're not any less of a human being. I still love you just as much as I did 10 days ago or 10 minutes ago. I've got no issue. I have no issue. There are no issues here. But I am not going to carry anyone, and neither is anyone here that is understanding and moving forward with me. So if you don't understand, you know where the exit is, and you can, if you want to try again another time, I hope you do. If you're here for the same reason I am, you know me enough by now to know that I wouldn't play Genuine on my videos all the time. Just like Yahusha and Yahuwah use parables when giving directions to his children, was the same way that was put together. Anyone who would have an issue with that and think that I'm going to be playing that sort of thing all the time obviously don't know me, and they are not who is being called. It doesn't mean that I don't love them or I have anything but love for them. But if there was no flavor of the remnant and it tasted just like everything else, everyone would be getting in. And you already know that's nothing you would want, I or Messiah or Abba would want. When a football team starts its season, they have a thing called training camp. They call a certain number of players. Those players, if they want to come to the training camp, they come. Say there's 100 people. They're there at the training camp because they want to be there. You have to want to be right here where you are. And if that's only one of you, that is no concern of mine. I don't concern. I'm going forward. Out of those 100 players, they go through the training camp, a few weeks of rigorous training practices. The coaches take notes of who is who, what skills, qualities they have, and if they really want it. If they want to give everything they have, leaving their own personal ambitions and goals to the side to aspire to achieve a goal collectively. And they understand there is no I in team. So out of that 100, by the time the season starts, only 53 men move forward. And out of that 47 men that did not make it, there were those who did not want it bad enough. There were those who doubted in themselves and that team and the coaches, and they doubt. And then there were those who thought they were at that level of ability but had not really went through the same experience and testing and fire that those in that 53 had went through. And that's okay. That doesn't mean that they are any less of a human being. It just means that that goal that those 53 aspire to achieve is not the same goal that those 47 have in their soul, deep down in the inside of them, buried. The 53 are there because they were called and chosen, and they chose to go. If one person tries to call the plays and override the coach, well, that player won't be around too long. The players and the people that stay, and when the goal is achieved, they'll have achieved that goal with 53 people who were willing to put their own ambitions and desires to the wayside. They were willing to stay in their lane, be an employee, understand they do not call the shots. They follow the boss's orders. They understand their role. And they understand that that is how the goal shall be achieved. Success will come from a collective mind, a body working like a well-oiled machine, progressing forward with one goal in mind. If they had doubt, they wouldn't be there. If doubt arises, there'll be no hiding it, and it will be dealt with. Like I said in that last video, there are levels to this. And the reason Abba words his word like this is because those people who truly aren't seeking the truth, seeking him, and hungry, they hunger and they thirst for him and his word. They understand that man must not live off bread alone, but every word that proceeds forth from the mouth of Abba Yahuwah. The people who do not want it, who aren't hungry, when they read the parable, they only see the cover, and they take what they initially see, and it means not hardly anything to them. They are probably confused, and their path goes nowhere forward. They're like a spinning top, just circling back into chaos, bouncing around. If you're like me and you have a childlike faith and you know, go, that's the speed, and you realize that this isn't a game, in all seriousness, you are here to do the Father's will, and that's why we're here. This is his will. That filter test that was placed on my Facebook and YouTube was placed there because anyone that doesn't have the desire to do the will of my Father and your Father does not need to go any farther with this channel, with who we are. And who we are the remnant, which has never been about quantity, only quality. We're going to go back through the 68 a little bit, and we're going to eat a little bit of food at the same time. All right. Before I start to read, I probably should give you a little of the idea, a little bit of what transpired on the day that everything changed. I was speaking with someone, and they were asking me about the truths that I have been shown and that I shared. And in the beginning, and for a long time in that, I didn't think anything about it until I thought and realized, I remembered that not one person was or ever has acknowledged any of it. And the majority has refused. About 2% of them didn't refuse it, but did not catch on, or understand. And it dawned on me why the question came to mind, and it had came to my mind before, but never to this severity. Why me? Why? I can't be the only one who just followed Abba and did what he's asked and truly loves him. So what is it about me? Why did I receive this? And at that moment, I questioned why that person was asking at that time, because they were the first person with genuine interest. So I typed in the search bar on my Bible app, "one man left," those 3 words. And I was taken to John chapter 6. And when I say taken, I've told y'all before, I've mentioned how I've been taken by the hair of the head, and Abba has taken me somewhere and shown me something. That time I'm speaking of right now, it had no bearing on anything I could have thought or done. After that, after I read John chapter 6, I realized a confirmation was made to me that changed everything. And if you're here and you're hearing my voice, that confirmation was probably given to you as well. That's why I say, if you're here and you're hearing my voice, you are the resistance, you are the few, and you are in good company. That night, he took me to this chapter, chapter 68. And when I say took me, he took me. I came to it with no thought of anything of my own. It was, he took me to chapter 68 of Psalms. And when I read 68, I was ready to be picked up the next night. As far as I knew, I could be getting picked up. My faith is childlike, and it is being put into action. But I'm an employee, and I failed to remember my place. And I realize now that I just need to go. When, where, how is none of my concern, nor yours. Just show up. So instead of being picked up, everything changed, and where I see in this chapter we are to go, where I figured I would be going when I got picked up, is where we will go. But he still has to make sure those who show up and those who he brings are those who want it. The test is not over. We have to still decide where we want to be. If the world and any of its, the lust of it, the desire for anything world is still in you, you will not be here. And the exit will be your next destination, because this is about putting our faith into action, our childlike faith, to which most of the world will laugh, mock, scoff, never understand. And that's okay. It's not for them. It's for us and us alone. Just like I realized what couple curveballs were needed to be thrown at y'all, those things are hurdles for us on here that are of no importance to us. Just like how Abba put his word into parables, it's for the hungry, those who thirst. If audio distraction arises and you don't hear my voice for 5 seconds, those who thirst and are hungry for what they are here for will be able to stay focused with the task at hand, eyes on the prize, and that will be no issue to them, because there are no issues here. We are here because we passed the test of, do you want it or not? I'm not going to break down too much of this word the way the world would want me to, the way the grumblers would want, the way those who asked Yahusha why he would ask them to drink his blood. If you're here, you're hearing my voice, you know exactly what he meant when he said that. And you know why he had to say it that way. And you know who would be turned around at that moment because they could not see it that way. You understand how that filter works. It's quality, not quantity. Before, when Abba pointed me to the land and I was to point in that direction, and I told you that he let me know that my job as far as the controversial was over. Now, do you have any question whether that was true or not? There's no controversial going to go on here now. Only the road, the food, the direction with the remnant. Controversial is of no importance. It is non-existent where you are right now. All you have to do is go. I also should mention, to add to how all things transpired to bring me to this point. And the main thing I need to say, and it's something you more than likely understand as well, but I'll say it just because the Most High is just that amazing, and how could I not? All things have been working to get me to the point I am at right now. Things went down, and I had no idea any importance or why they would go down that way, and I never thought anything about anything. But now I see that it all had to happen, and that everything is for a purpose, and as long as we just go, he handles all the details. We just have to go. On Facebook, there are a lot of people who claim to be Yasharal, and that they love the Most High and His Torah and His Messiah and their brethren, and whether they do or not is no interest to me. But on the day that all things transpired for this purpose, I asked my Mishpachah on Facebook to share my post that Mark was not allowing to be shared. And all that was on that post was me esteeming the Most High, and that's it. Nothing else. There was no reason that anyone who esteems the Most High and calls me brother would have to not share it. And I was practically begging them, because I take this, to say I take this serious, that's not the conversation. The statement is, what false reality are you or anyone else living in? I am right here in the reality. And it's made itself evident that not many live reside in reality, where reality resides. Not one person shared it. All those people who I've called brother and sister for years, I did all I could to show them I love them more than anyone I'm sure else has, to the point that I've been called weird and a lot of things. And that's okay, because that's the way the world sees Yasharal. It can't understand us. And that's why that happened, was to show me what was to happen from that point forward, and that I was being picked up. Only just not in the way that I thought I was, because I failed to remember that I'm an employee. When he says go, and we say we're going, where we're going, how, why. We are employees. Those details are worked out by the boss and the boss only, and for good reason. Needless to say, the remnant will be brothers and sisters. A brother will have his brother or sister's back any time, anywhere, regardless of what anyone thinks. And the reason that it was given to me, all those revelations, is because I never doubted it for a second. I confirmed it in the mouth of 2 to 3 witnesses. But when I saw him, there was no question. Childlike faith. When we read this here, you have to have that childlike faith, and you have to understand that this is Abba talking to me and you. Turn your ears on. If you're still here and you're hearing my voice, you never shut yours off. So, those who are prepared and go is their only speed and direction, and their ears are always on. When I begin to read this, there will be no hiccups. Your thirst and hunger, like mine, will cause you to see the Most High talking directly to you. The Most High arises, his enemies are scattered, and those who hate him flee before him. The filter, the exit is that way. You know where the exit is. As smoke is driven away, you drive them away. As wax melts before the fire, the wrong, those who don't want it, even if they think they do and say they do, their actions show me and you they do not perish before the Most High. But the righteous are glad. They show up. They go. Questions, no questions asked. Employees ready to serve, work for the Most High with a common goal, everlasting life, the knowledge, childlike faith being put into action. And they rejoice with gladness, and they exalt the Most High. Sing to the Most High, sing praises to his name. Raise up a highway for him who rides through the deserts. Do you think we would need to raise him one or the other way? Your what you see in your mind as far as geographically should be in tune with mine. By his name, Yah, and exalt before him. Father of the fatherless. In my thought about me being the only one, and I've said before, my whole life, I've felt like it's just me against the world. Now, I know that's a cliche that's said by many, but this is something that is the only thing one would think if they had the eyes I do and they seen through mine. I am fatherless. My father was never around. He came back into my life when I was married, operating my own small business, and I let him in that business only for him to try and destroy it, which he failed. He Bible thumped and preached at me all the time. The same with my mom and a lot of people I know. My dad, when he was approached with the roll up your sleeve, I informed him more than I informed anyone else. More than enough. But he's no longer here, and he was taken out and not to lunch by the very thing I informed him about. No one I know that I could name right now would put faith into action, which is what I realized was the only thing that had me to the point of where I am right now. And that's what I'm going to ride all the way with my Abba past the finish line. So I'm going to guess we're all in that category. Father of the fatherless and right ruler of widows is the Most High in his set-apart dwelling. The Most High makes a home for the lonely. He brings out into prosperity those who are bound with chains. Only the rebellious shall dwell in a dry land. When he says hello, pick up the phone, very few pick it up, which the label rebellious can be given to those who don't pick the phone up just as easy as those who refuse all things Abba. The Most High makes a home for the lonely. He brings out into prosperity those who are bound with chains. Only the rebellious shall dwell in a dry land. The Most High, oh my Most High, when you went out before your people, when you stepped through the wilderness, Selah, the earth shook and the heavens dropped before the Most High. This Sinai, you realize exactly you're in good company. Shook before the Most High of Yasharal. You, O my Most High, my mighty one, sent a shower of plenty. You confirmed your inheritance when it was weary. Your flock dwelt in it. You provided from your goodness for the poor, O the Most High. Yahuwah gave the word. The women who proclaimed it was a great company. Sovereigns of armies flee in haste. And she who remains at home divides the spoil. If you lie down among the sheepfolds, the wings of a dove are covered with silver, and her feathers with yellow gold. When the Almighty scattered sovereigns in it, it did snow in Salmon. A mountain of the Most High is a mountain of Bashan. A mountain of peaks is the mountain of Bashan. O mountain of peaks, why do you gaze in envy at the mountain which the Most High desired to dwell in? Yahuwah even dwells there forever. The chariots of the Most High are 20,000, thousands of thousands. Yahuwah came from Sinai, this Sinai, into the set-apart place. You have ascended on high. You have led captivity captive. You have received gifts among men and even the rebellious, that Yah, the Most High, might dwell there. Blessed be Yahuwah. Day by day he bears our burden, the El of our deliverance, Selah. Our El is the El of our deliverance, and to Yahuwah, the Master, belong escapes from death. Indeed, the Most High smites the head of his enemies, the hairy scalp of him who walks about in his guilt. Yahuwah said, I bring back from Bashan, I bring back from the depths of the sea, so that you plunge your foot in blood, that the tongues of your dogs have their portion from the enemies. They have seen your goings, O the Most High, the goings of my El, my sovereign, into the set-apart place. The singers went in front, the players on instruments after them. Among them were the young women playing tambourines. Bless the Most High in the assemblies, Yahuwah from the fountain of Yasharal. There is Benjamin, the smallest, their ruler, the leader of Yehudah, their company, the leader of Zebulun, the leader of Naphtali. Your Most High has commanded your strength. Be strong. What's our strength? You already know. Oh, my Most High, this you have worked out for us, and I thank him for this. Because of your Hakal at Yerushalayim, sovereigns bring presents to you. Rebuke the wild beast of the reeds, the herd of bulls, with the calves of the peoples, each one humbling himself with pieces of silver. Scatter the peoples who delight in conflicts. You know where the exit is. Ambassadors come out of Mitzrayim, and Cush stretches out her hands to the Most High. Sing to the Most High, you reigns of the earth. Praise to Yahuwah, Selah, to him who rides on the ancient highest heavens. See, he sends out his voice, a mighty voice. Ascribe strength to the Most High. His excellence is over Yasharal, all of the above, and his strength is in the clouds. O my Most High, my mighty one, awesome from your set-apart places, the El of Yasharal is he who gives strength and power to his people. Blessed be the Most High. The only working out shall only be done in private. If you need my personal contact information, you know how to get it. I'm going to end this video right here. I'm going to come right back with some food because I know you're hungry. My stomach's growling. The bread and the wine coming up. Shalom.